If you're over 60, what you eat isn't just important, it could be the difference between years of vibrant health or slow, silent decline. Today, we're exposing the 4 worst seafoods you should never touch again and 4 powerful marine superfoods that could rebuild your joints, boost energy, and protect your heart if you eat them regularly. These aren't your typical grocery store warnings. You won't hear this from your doctor. And there's a reason for that. The seafood industry is a multi-billion-dollar global machine, pushing certain products onto your plate because they're cheap to produce, easy to market, and profitable, not because they're good for your health. In fact, some of the worst offenders are staples in senior diets, trusted for years without anyone asking hard questions. And here's the truth. Over 99% of seniors have no idea that these common seafoods are quietly spiking their cholesterol, triggering inflammation, and overloading their kidneys, all while disguising themselves as healthy choices. Even worse, the one seafood shown to help reverse joint pain and regenerate collagen, it's practically buried because it's not profitable to sell. But we've done the digging for you. Backed by peer-reviewed research and real science with every source linked in the description, this isn't hype. It's exactly what your aging body needs to hear right now. Before we dive in, tell us in the comments, where are you watching from? We're reading and replying to every single comment, and you might just meet someone else on the same journey. Now let's get into it, starting with the number 4, worst seafood for anyone over 60. If you've been waking up with stiff joints, unexplained swelling, or high blood pressure, this one might be the hidden culprit. Number 4. Squid. At first glance, squid seems like one of the better choices when it comes to seafood. It's low in fat, relatively high in protein, and served in a wide range of dishes from Mediterranean salads to Asian stir-fries to those golden-fried calamari rings you see at restaurants. But for seniors, squid can be a hidden metabolic landmine, and the older you get, the more dangerous it becomes. Let's begin with what most people think is harmless: cholesterol. A modest 3-ounce serving of cooked squid contains about 198 milligrams of cholesterol, which is more than 65% of your recommended daily limit. That's from one tiny portion. If you're having calamari as an appetizer or including squid in a seafood mix, it's easy to exceed your daily cholesterol intake without realizing it. Now, why does that matter more after age 60? Because your liver, the organ responsible for processing dietary cholesterol, slows down with age. That means seniors don't metabolize cholesterol as efficiently as they used to, allowing more of it to enter the bloodstream. This can raise LDL cholesterol levels, lead to arterial stiffness, and accelerate atherosclerosis, the hardening and narrowing of arteries. In fact, a 2021 study published in the journal Nutrients found that older adults with higher dietary cholesterol intake had a 43% greater likelihood of showing early signs of arterial stiffening, a precursor to heart disease, and a W.N. 31% increased risk of heart attacks, strokes, or other cardiovascular events. That's not a statistic you can afford to ignore. But cholesterol isn't the only issue. Squid is also naturally high in purine compounds that break down into uric acid inside your body. When you're young, your kidneys can usually flush this out efficiently. But as we age, kidney filtration rates decline. And when uric acid accumulates, it tends to crystallize in the joints, triggering GUT, a painful form of arthritis that disproportionately affects people over 60. According to a long-term analysis in the Journal of Gerontology, seniors who consumed high-purine seafood like squid more than twice per week had a 54% higher chance of experiencing chronic joint inflammation within just 2 years. This included not just gout flares, but also increased swelling, stiffness, and limited mobility in the knees, ankles, and toes. If you've been waking up with swollen joints, unexplained stiffness, or random flare-ups of pain in your feet or hands, and squid is part of your regular diet, this could be a silent contributor. And because it's often viewed as a clean or gourmet food, It flies under the radar. It may not be fried junk food, but make no mistake, for seniors, it can be just as harmful. So, if you're over 60 and managing high cholesterol, arthritis, or kidney function, it's time to rethink squid. What looks like a harmless seafood on the plate might actually be working against your health behind the scenes. Number 3. Imitation crab. Surimi. It looks like crab. It's shaped like crab. It even smells like crab. But imitation crab, also known as surimis, one of the worst seafood imposters you can eat, especially if you're over 60. Beneath its soft texture and pretty packaging lies a highly processed mix of low-quality ingredients that can wreak havoc on your metabolism. Surimi is made from pulverized white fish, usually pollock, blended with refined starches, sugar, salt, and artificial flavorings. By the time it's molded into sticks and dyed to mimic crab meat, it's no longer seafood, it's a lab-built, food-like product. And for seniors, that's a major problem. One of the biggest concerns is how rapidly it spikes blood sugar. A 2020 study in clinical nutrition found that imitation crab causes a glycemic response comparable to white bread. That's because it's loaded with fast-digesting starches like tapioca and wheat, which break down into glucose almost instantly. This might not sound serious at first, but for seniors dealing with insulin resistance, prediabetes, or type 2 diabetes, it can be disastrous. The same study found that older adults who ate surimi products 3 times a week had 6 times higher fasting insulin levels than those who avoided them. Over time, that leads to worsened blood sugar control, fatigue, and increased risk of cardiovascular issues. The sodium content is equally alarming. A single serving of imitation crab can pack over 700 milligrams of sodium, and that's before adding soy sauce or salad dressing. For seniors, high sodium increases blood pressure, strains the kidneys, and contributes to fluid retention and swelling. Combine that with preservatives like MSG, and you have a perfect recipe for dizziness, headaches, and even mental fog. What makes imitation crab particularly dangerous is that it pretends to be healthy. Many seniors believe they're making a smart swap, choosing seafood over processed meat, when in fact, they're trading one problem for another. Surimi offers almost none of the real benefits of seafood. It's low in omega-3s, lacks zinc and iodine, and delivers more sugar and salt than protein. Bottom line, imitation crab might be cheap and convenient, but it's a poor nutritional deal for seniors. If you're over 60 and working to stabilize your metabolism, protect your heart, and reduce inflammation, this is one seafood substitute you should leave off your plate for good. Number 2. Scallops. They're small, tender, and often served in upscale restaurants with a delicate sear and elegant presentation. Scallops have earned a reputation as one of the cleanest seafood options out there, low in fat, mild in flavor, and easy to digest. But for seniors, especially those over 60, scallops carry hidden risks that most people never suspect. The biggest concern? Heavy metal accumulation, specifically cadmium. Scallops are filter feeders, meaning they pull in water and trap microscopic particles from their environment. Unfortunately, that includes toxic metals. Cadmium is particularly dangerous because it doesn't just pass through your body, it accumulates over time, especially in the kidneys. A 2022 study published in Toxicology Reports found that even moderate scallop consumption can result in cadmium exposure levels that approach or exceed the World Health Organization's safe limit, just 7 micrograms per kilogram of body weight per week. For a senior, weighing 70 kilograms, about 154 pounds, eating just a few scallops multiple times per week could push you into toxic territory. Why does this matter more after 60? Because kidney function naturally declines with age. The kidneys are less efficient at filtering toxins, which means cadmium stays in your system longer. Over time, this can lead to protein leakage, higher blood pressure, and chronic fatigue. And unlike short-term food sensitivities, cadmium damage builds slowly and silently, often without symptoms until significant damage has occurred. But cadmium isn't the only issue with scallops. While many seniors turn to seafood for omega-3 fatty acids which support heart health, brain clarity, and joint mobility, scallops fall flat. Compared to other shellfish, scallops have surprisingly low levels of omega-3s. A 100g serving of scallops contains less than 30 milligrams of EPA and DHA combined. To put that in perspective, the same amount of oysters delivers over 500 milligrams, more than 16 times as much. So while you might feel like you're making a smart, lean choice, scallops offer very little of the nutritional power most seniors are looking for in seafood. You're getting less brain protection, less inflammation control, and less cardiovascular support, all while exposing yourself to a heavy metal that your aging kidneys can barely filter. If scallops are sitting in your freezer or regularly appearing on your dinner plate, it might be time to reconsider. They may look delicate and harmless, but for seniors, they can act as a slow-acting toxin with minimal nutritional return. And when there are far more protective, healing seafoods available, there's just no reason to take that risk. Number 1. Shrimp. It's small, low in calories, and often seen as a lean protein alternative to red meat. Shrimp is one of the most commonly consumed seafoods worldwide, and for many seniors, it's a go-to option for salads, stir-fries, and seafood platters. But here's the truth. Shrimp may be the single most dangerous seafood for adults over 60, and not because of how it's cooked, but because of what it naturally contains and how it interacts with the aging body. Let's start with cholesterol. A single 3-ounce serving of shrimp contains around 180 milligrams of cholesterol, nearly as much as squid. That's more than 60% of your daily recommended limit in one small handful. For seniors, this is a serious concern. As you age, your arteries stiffen, your liver's efficiency declines, and your risk of heart disease skyrockets. A 2021 study in the journal Circulation tracked over 700 seniors and found that those who consumed more than 300 milligrams of cholesterol per day had a 35% higher risk of stroke and a 24% higher risk of coronary heart disease compared to those with lower intake. Shrimp alone can push you dangerously close to those numbers, especially if you consume it more than once per week. But that's just the start. Shrimp contains a tough muscle protein called tropomyosin, which is difficult to digest and one of the most common food allergens in the world. You don't need to have a seafood allergy in your youth to be affected. A study published in the Journal of Allergy and Clinical Immunology found that 14% of new shellfish allergies in seniors developed after the age of 65 with no prior warning. Aging immune systems become more reactive, and shrimp is a known trigger. Even if you don't experience a full allergic reaction, shrimp's indigestible shell fragments, especially chitin, can contribute to bloating, gas, and intestinal inflammation in seniors with already weakened digestion. This is particularly risky for those dealing with IBS, leaky gut, or constipation. And then there's the issue of contamination. Most shrimp sold in supermarkets today is farm-raised, often imported from countries with poor regulatory oversight. A 2022 study published in Food Control found that 42% of frozen shrimp samples from Southeast Asia tested positive for banned antibiotic residues, including oxytetracycline and enrofloxacin, both linked to gut microbiome disruption and antibiotic resistance. When you combine high cholesterol, allergenic proteins, gut irritants, and chemical contaminants, shrimp becomes a perfect storm, especially for seniors whose bodies are already more vulnerable to inflammation, metabolic stress, and immune instability. So while it may seem like a light or healthy choice, shrimp is anything but. If you're over 60 and still eating it regularly, it's time to stop. Shrimp may be small, but the risks it carries are oversized and deeply underestimated. Now that you've learned which seafoods to steer clear of, it's time to dive into the 4 ocean-based superfoods every senior should be adding to their plate. And topping that list is one that research shows can help rebuild cartilage, ease inflammation, and even roll back age-related joint discomfort. Number 4. Sea cucumber. It might not win any beauty contests, but when it comes to healing power, sea cucumber deserves a place at the top of every senior's nutritional list. It's not actually a vegetable. Despite the name, it's a soft-bodied marine animal found on the seafloor, and it's been used in traditional Asian medicine for centuries to treat everything from joint pain to wound healing. Today, modern science is finally catching up and the results are impressive. One of sea cucumber's standout qualities is its ability to support joint health. As we age, the cartilage in our joints begins to break down, causing stiffness, inflammation, and pain. Sea cucumber is rich in triterpene glycosides compounds that have been shown to act as natural anti-inflammatories. According to a 2021 study published in the International Journal of Molecular Sciences, seniors who took sea cucumber extract daily experienced a 35% reduction in joint pain and a noticeable improvement in flexibility within just 12 weeks. Another major benefit? Collagen support? Sea cucumber contains a unique combination of collagen-like proteins, chondroitin sulfate, and mucopolysaccharides, which help the body repair cartilage and retain moisture in the joints. Many seniors rely on over-the-counter joint supplements, but the nutrients found in sea cucumber are more bioavailable, meaning your body can absorb and use them more efficiently. But the benefits don't stop at the joints. Sea cucumber is also being studied for its role in wound healing, immune modulation, and skin elasticity. It contains natural peptides that may help reduce chronic inflammation, one of the underlying factors in aging, arthritis, and cognitive decline. Some early research suggests these compounds may even have anti-cancer and antimicrobial properties, although more studies are needed in human subjects. Nutritionally, sea cucumber is also high in magnesium, vitamin A, zinc, and selenium minerals that become harder to absorb with age. For seniors dealing with dry skin, brittle nails, or slow wound healing, these nutrients offer critical support for cellular repair and regeneration. So, how do you eat it? In Asian cuisine, sea cucumber is usually rehydrated and gently simmered with broth, herbs, or vegetables. It takes on a soft, gelatinous texture, an indicator of its collagen content, and is best enjoyed in soups or stews once or twice a week. You don't need large amounts to see benefits, just consistency. Sea cucumber might look strange, but don't let appearances fool you. For seniors battling joint discomfort, stiff knees, or declining skin elasticity, it's one of the most potent marine superfoods available. It doesn't just mask symptoms, it helps rebuild what aging tries to break down. Number 3. Green-lipped mussels. Native to the pristine coastal waters of New Zealand, green-lipped mussels are one of the most underrated marine superfoods, especially for seniors suffering from joint pain, stiffness, or inflammation. They might not be as well known as salmon or tuna, but green-lipped mussels offer a unique combination of nutrients that make them incredibly effective for aging joints and immune health. What sets these mussels apart is their rich content of a rare omega-3 fatty acid called ETA, eicosapentaenoic acid. While most people are familiar with EPA and DHA, omega-3s found in fish oil, ETA is a more potent anti-inflammatory compound. It works by inhibiting an enzyme called 5-lipoxygenase, which is a key driver of inflammation in the body. This gives green-lipped mussels a powerful advantage when it comes to reducing joint pain, swelling, and stiffness. A 2020 study published in Nutrients followed a group of seniors who took green-lipped mussel extract daily for 12 weeks. The results? A 42% reduction in joint discomfort and a 35% improvement in physical function. Participants reported easier movement, less pain in the knees and hips, and better overall mobility without the side effects of common pain medications. But the benefits don't stop at the joints. Green-lipped mussels are also loaded with zinc, iron, selenium, and iodine minerals that are essential for seniors, but often lacking due to declining absorption with age. Zinc is crucial for immune strength and wound healing. Selenium supports thyroid function, and iodine is key for maintaining energy levels and metabolism. For seniors dealing with fatigue, brittle nails, thinning hair, or frequent colds, these nutrients can make a real difference. And unlike synthetic supplements, the minerals in mussels come in a natural, bioavailable form that the body recognizes and absorbs more easily. Preparing green-lipped mussels is simple. They can be steamed gently with garlic, lemon, and herbs for a flavorful, nutrient-rich dish. It's important not to fry or overcook them, as that can degrade their delicate omega-3s. Their taste is slightly sweet and brine milder than other shellfish, and they pair well with light broths, whole grains, or steamed vegetables. If you're over 60 and dealing with sore joints, sluggish energy, or nagging inflammation, green-lipped mussels are a smart and delicious addition to your weekly routine. They deliver real results, backed by science, and unlike pills or powders, they come with the bonus of a satisfying meal. Don't overlook this humble shellfish. It's one of the few foods that can ease pain, boost immunity, and nourish your body all in one bite. Before we move on, if you've been finding this video helpful so far, go ahead and hit the like button. It really supports the channel. And if you're serious about feeling better after 60, subscribe and turn on notifications. We share real, science-backed tips every single week. Number 2, oysters. They may be considered a delicacy by some, but oysters are far more than just an occasional indulgence. For seniors, they're one of nature's most powerful and complete nutritional packages, and one of the few seafoods that can actively restore deficiencies that develop with age. If you're over 60 and struggling with fatigue, brittle nails, thinning hair, or brain fog, oysters may be the missing link in your diet. What makes oysters so unique is their incredible mineral density, especially when it comes to zinc. Just 2 medium-sized oysters provide more than 100% of your recommended daily intake, and in a form that your body can easily absorb. Zinc plays a critical role in immune function, wound healing, testosterone production, and cognitive clarity. And yet, studies show that nearly 40% of seniors are zinc deficient, often without knowing it. A deficiency in zinc doesn't just leave you vulnerable to more infections. It also contributes to slower recovery from injuries, poor skin repair, and even loss of taste and smell. A study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition confirmed that adults over 60 with low zinc levels were significantly more likely to experience cognitive decline, sensory loss, and chronic inflammation. But oysters don't stop there. They're also loaded with vitamin B12, which supports nerve function and energy metabolism, 2 areas that tend to decline with age. Just a 3-ounce serving contains more B12 than a full steak. And since B12 absorption weakens with age, seniors often need more than younger adults to maintain the same levels. Oysters also deliver a generous amount of selenium, a trace mineral that acts like a bodyguard for your thyroid-regulating hormone balance, supporting metabolic rate and protecting against oxidative stress. Selenium is also crucial for keeping the immune system responsive, making it even more important during cold and flu season. Now, here's something most people overlook: copper. Oysters are one of the richest food sources of copper in the human diet. Copper is essential for collagen production, bone health, and red blood cell formation. A European study on aging adults found that those with higher copper intake had 18% fewer bone fractures over a 5-year period compared to those with lower intake. To get the most benefit, eat oysters raw, steamed, or lightly grilled. Avoid deep frying or heavy sauces, which can cancel out their nutrient advantages. A squeeze of lemon or a dash of vinegar is all you need. Bottom line, if you're looking for a marine food that supports nearly every system in your body, your immune, health, bones, skin, brain, and hormones, oysters are a must. They're not just a treat, they're one of the most concentrated healing foods on Earth. Number 1. Sea moss. It's not a fish, it's not a shellfish in fact, it's not even an animal. But sea moss, also known as Irish moss, may be the single most powerful marine food for seniors. For centuries, this red algae has been used in traditional medicine to promote strength, healing, and vitality. And now, modern science is proving what many cultures already knew. Sea moss is one of the most complete natural remedies for age-related decline. What sets sea moss apart isn't just what it contains, it's what it enables your body to do. This marine plant delivers over 90 trace minerals, including magnesium, potassium, iodine, sulfur, and iron nutrients that support nearly every function in the body. As you age, mineral absorption slows, and deficiencies accumulate quietly. Sea moss helps correct that by supplying bioavailable nutrients in a highly absorbable form. One of its standout benefits is its support for collagen production. Sea moss doesn't contain collagen directly, but it's rich in collagen precursors, including vitamin C, sulfur, and the amino acid proline. These nutrients give your body the raw materials it needs to rebuild joint cartilage, skin elasticity, and even your gut lining areas that weaken significantly after 60. A 2022 study published in Marine Drugs found that seniors who consumed sea moss daily for 8 weeks experienced a 37% improvement in joint mobility and a 29% reduction in skin dryness without using supplements or prescription medications. Participants also reported better digestion and increased daily energy. That's no coincidence. Sea moss is also high in mucilage, a type of soluble fiber that forms a gel-like layer in the gut. This not only soothes inflammation, but it also helps seal microscopic holes in the gut lining, key for those suffering from leaky gut, acid reflux, constipation, or irregular appetite. It also feeds the beneficial gut bacteria responsible for nutrient absorption and immune regulation. But sea moss doesn't stop there. It contains natural iodine, which supports thyroid function and helps regulate hormone balance, metabolism, and temperature control, critical functions that often go overlooked in aging adults. And many users report easier breathing, likely due to sea moss's natural antiviral and anti-inflammatory effects on the respiratory tract. To prepare sea moss safely, rinse it thoroughly, soak it for 12-24 hours, and blend it into a gel. You can add 1 or 2 tablespoons to smoothies, teas, soups, or even oatmeal. Never boil it, just stir it into warm foods to preserve its nutrients. For seniors dealing with joint pain, brain fog, digestive problems, or fatigue, sea moss is a game changer. It's not flashy. It's not trendy. But it may be the most complete and healing food you'll ever add to your routine. Now you know the seafood on your plate is either working for you or against you, especially after 60. The truth is, your body isn't as forgiving as it used to be. Every bite matters more now than ever. This isn't about restriction. It's about choosing smarter, healing deeper, and aging better with foods that actually serve your body. Now it's your turn. Which seafood shocked you the most today? Have you ever tried sea moss, and did you notice any changes? Drop your answer in the comments. We're replying to everyone. And if you found this helpful, hit subscribe. We've got more raw, real, and science-backed health tips coming every single week. Lastly, share this with someone over 60 who still thinks shrimp is healthy. You just might change their life. Thanks for watching.